Hi, I'm DualEx, and today I'm going to try to build a full shower in this cargo van that I'm converting into a camper. Let's go. We've decided to put the shower up here right behind the driver's seat. So the first thing I'm going to do is insulate this wall because I'm not going to get another chance to do that. When I did the flooring, I made the mistake of not leaving a space for me to put the hose for the drain of the shower. So I'm just gonna drill a couple holes right now and do it, and nobody's gonna see that part because it's gonna be underneath the shower pan anyway. This looks a lot like a cornhole board, but this is actually the base for the shower. And the reason why I'm doing this is just to give it a little bit of elevation so that it will drain properly through that tube. And also, I put it at an angle so that way that all of the water that falls into the tub will end up coming down to the drain properly and not pool up somewhere else in the shower pan. Four coats and 24 hours later, we are completely waterproof inside of the shower stall. So technically we can use it as a shower right now, but it's pretty ugly. So I'm going to be covering it up with some of these vinyl waterproof grout-free wall tiles. I'm going to be putting it up there with some heavy duty construction adhesive and sealing in between all of the gaps and cracks with some bathroom tile 100% waterproof silicone. With all of that stuff finally done, this is actually looking pretty good. But now we need to have a shower faucet in here so we can actually have some water run through this system and go into the drain. But the only way to do that is with plumbing. I'm going to build a water box in this wheel well area, which is going to be underneath the bed. And I'm going to run the plumbing for that through underneath the bench to inside of this wall, which is going to give me the shower faucet coming out here. And I'll also run a split off for the hot and cold over here, because this is where the kitchen is going to be. Now that I have that cabinet, I'm going to break down how I'm going to do this plumbing. It all starts with a water tank. I'll connect that water tank to a water pump. When that pump is activated, it's going to pressurize the system and suck water from the water tank through the rest of the system. Each time there's air in the tubes, the pump will activate. I'm going to split that water line and put the new tube into a water heater. When it comes out from the other side, it's going to be hot water. Now I'm going to have two tubes, a hot water and a cold water line that can go directly into my shower faucet or my sink faucet, or both if I split them. Once the water gets used in the sink or shower, Then it'll go into the gray water tank that I'm going to mount underneath the van, and then we'll have a full and complete system. I'm going to be using 1/2 inch PEX type B to make my water lines because I think it's the easiest way to do it. And in order to make my connections, I'll be using these brass connectors. I'll be using this SureFlow water pump, this Bosch water heater, and this 16-gallon water tank. I'm using a PVC pipe cutter to cut my PEX tubing, and then I'm just using these crimp rings in order to make my connections. You simply slide the crimp ring on, and then you put your fitting on that you want to use. Then you bring your crimp ring about 1/8 of an inch from the end of the tube, and you use this crimping tool to clamp down on it. And what this does is makes a solid waterproof connection. Now that you've got the idea, I'm just going to speed through the rest of this and I'll explain some more at the end. This pump does require power, so I've run a positive and negative wire around through the ceiling into this switch box with some fuses on it that I will eventually build into this wall. It all starts with the water tank. This one is 16 gallons, but you could use whatever size you want. It has these 4 fittings over here, one for a fill valve that I didn't set up yet, and then the other ones are just for inputs, so I decided to put mine at the bottom down there. Then I have my 1/2 inch fittings coming out and going around to the pump. The reason why I have that is because this pump pulls in this direction, so that's just the orientation that I needed. Then it's coming out at a 90-degree angle, going straight across to a T. And the reason why I did that is because we wanted to have hot water here. So this portion is coming down and turning into hot water and coming back out. So I started using red so I could tell the difference. And then right here, we have these capped off right here because these are actually going to be going to the kitchen. That's going to be over here, but I didn't build that yet. Then they go underneath this bench, around inside this cabinet, and then they're coming up on the other side right here to this junction box. So it just has an input for the hot water and the cold water there. And I just used red to show the mixed water goes up to the shower wand. And the other one goes straight up to the top for this rain head shower faucet. My crimping tool came with this go or no go tool, and this thing is really useful because basically what this does is it allows you to check your work. So each connection that you make, on one side of this it says no go, and the other side it says go. So if you put this over it and it fits on the size connection and on the go, then it works. And then you turn it over and you can check the no go. It doesn't fit. So that means that this connection should not leak. The only thing you might have to worry about with leaks is these threaded fittings. But as far as the PEX goes, when you have this, you really can't go wrong. When I flip the switch, you'll hear it pressurize the system. And then once it's fully pressurized, it'll stop making noise. And then it'll only start making noise again when you actually open up the faucet. Now that the plumbing is all set up and the shower actually works, I need to work on the drain portion of this because there's no water tank underneath the van right now and it's just draining out into the grass. So let me hook that up with this water tank right here. So there you have it. That's how I built this fully functioning shower with pressurized and hot running water in this cargo van. This video is part of a build series, so if you want to follow along with this build and see how it turns out, then make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to see the previous episode, then click right here and you can catch right up. So I'll see you next time. Later.